Alright, good morning Arkansas. This is Assistant Chief Forecaster Kevin back here once again. I'm here to give you guys a winter storm update of what's going on across the natural state at this time here. So we're going to go ahead and kind of loop radar here. You guys see what's going on across the board over there in western Arkansas. As I said before, it was going to be an early start for you guys. This is where we're going to start getting the ball rolling across the area here over here. And then as I said before, you got a little bit of precipitation beginning to make its way towards the metro as well. But the majority of this will start coming in as we get towards later this evening and into tonight here, guys. So you can see the precipitation beginning to make its way in. It's going to be moving into north central Arkansas by the time we get towards lunch. And then towards the afternoon hours, it should be getting into eastern Arkansas as well here. So as I said before, everything's on the table for today. We're talking about potential freezing rain, sleet, some folks seeing rainfall, especially down in southern Arkansas. Unfortunately, we're not expecting a lot of snow with this event, but we are very concerned about the potential of seeing significant ice accumulations across the board here. So you can see the precipitation all going across western Arkansas at this point. A lot of people reporting sleet as well, so that tells me that there's a good amount of cold air at the low levels that's helping with the trying to get over to sleet versus freezing rain. However, that's something that we're going to have to watch here. So David, thank you for our report. Ground is covered in those areas. And folks, if you know anyone that needs updates with this winter weather event, please tag them. That way they're not missing any kind of information here. So good morning, everybody. Good morning. I hope everybody's having a good morning across the board. But this is what we got at this point. This system is beginning to move into Arkansas at this time here. Western Arkansas, as I said before, that's your starting point. And then it's going to start moving eastward as we get towards later today here. So it's fitting to right where we have with the timing that was earlier. It was 9 a.m. over there in western Arkansas to 11 a.m., 11 a.m. to around 1 for central Arkansas, and then 3 to 6 over there in eastern Arkansas. And this is going to continue throughout the overnight hours tonight and throughout much of the day on Thursday before coming to an end as we get towards Thursday night here, folks. So everyone is going to be wondering where the 32-degree line is. Let's talk about that real quickly here. So this is the 32-degree line here. This is what you're seeing on the map here. So what I've done is I've overlaid the precipitation versus the 32-degree line here. And you can see how the 32-degree line has come well to the south across southern Arkansas here. So anything along and north of that line is frozen precipitation. We're talking either freezing rain or sleet. You've got rainfall across southern Arkansas, but that is what's going on at this point here. So I've kind of overlaid that. Hope that helps you guys see this a little bit clearer. And we'll kind of zoom this down so you guys can see the state a little bit better here. So this is what we got going at 32-degree line stitches from, I would say, Dirks over towards Arkadelphia to Horizon right now, up into Forest City. Southern Arkansas, you're above. Central and north, you're below freezing here at this current time here. Now, there's going to be a lot of people that's also going to be asking why we're not expecting a lot of snow with this as well. Let's talk about that real quickly here. So we're going to show you what's called the aloft temperatures here, guys. And this right here, what you're seeing with this line right in here, okay, that line is the difference between freezing rain and sleet and snow. And this is the reason why we're not expecting a lot of snow with this event here, because the freezing line aloft is still back out towards the west. Okay, so this line will not make it through Arkansas, but it will make a run for northwestern Arkansas here. So this is why we're expecting more freezing rain and sleet versus the potential of snowfall with this event here. But this is what we got going at this time here, folks. The precipitation is moving across western Arkansas. We have had a lot of reports, especially out here in Oklahoma, of thunder, freezing rain, and thunder sleet as well. And I cannot rule that out here in Arkansas. We've looked at soundings for the last 12 to 24 hours. You guys saw in the live stream last night how we were looking at the soundings. Everything's in place for that potential here in Arkansas, especially during the afternoon hours today and into the evening hours as well. The wind potential with this, there's a lot of people asking about the wind. Not expecting a lot of wind with this setup. This is going to be a very, very low-end wind event with this, probably 10 to 15 mile per hour wind gusts. We're not expecting a lot of winds with this. The problem is the accumulation with this event here. So you can see the precipitation moving to western Arkansas. That was the 32-degree line that I wanted to show you guys, the aloft one. That's the reason why we're seeing more freezing rain and sleet versus the potential of snowfall with this event here. So let's go ahead and talk about those winter storm warnings here. So as said before, there's the winter weather advisory. We're going to pull up the winter storm warning as well here across the area here. So this goes all the way until Thursday evening. Okay, this is for much of northern and central Arkansas, and then the winter weather advisory goes from southwestern Arkansas and into eastern Arkansas. And I can't rule out, especially for some counties down here in southwestern Arkansas, that you may see a winter weather advisory get issued probably either later today or this evening here, depending on how temperatures approach down there in southern Arkansas at this point here. So just kind of tackling some comments here. Funny how we weren't supposed to be above freezing if you want the models, and here we are the day of, and the freezing line's all the way below the metro. Dustin, this is why we stress all the time that model guidance never does well with Arctic air at all. This is why we were telling you guys that this was going to go further south. It was going to be much colder than expected, because model guidance never does well with Arctic air at all, and this is a prime example at this point. So the winter storm warning for much of Arkansas, much of north central and central Arkansas, and then the winter weather advisory just south of that. And right now, southern Arkansas right now, no advisories or watches down there. However, I can't rule out the potential down there in southwest Arkansas at this point here, guys. So let's talk about the Futurecast. Let's talk about what we're going to be looking at down the road here, okay? So what I've done, I'm going to go ahead and take off the winter storm warning, by the way, okay? So this is right around 10 o'clock this morning, okay? And we're going to go through this hour by hour. Now, keep in mind, you see this blue area. That is where your 32-degree line is. So most of this is going to show up as rainfall on this model. That is freezing rain. That means that the rain is falling and it's freezing on contact. Okay, so if you're wondering about timing, this is the perfect time to kind of tune in for this, guys. So let's talk about it. So right around 11 o'clock this morning, HR doing a relatively good job over here in western Arkansas with the precipitation moving in. And you can see the 32-degree line moving in. And this is what I'm worried about right here. And I'm going to go ahead and draw this out that you're seeing on our Futurecast. This is what I'm worried about, those thunderstorms that may try to get going by the time we get towards this afternoon and this evening. That's something that we're going to watch. And notice where your sub-freezing line is, okay? Your sub-freezing line is through here. So all of this precipitation that you're seeing back here is not rainfall. This is freezing rain and sleet back here. That is behind the freezing line up here north central and the northwestern Arkansas and central Arkansas as well. Also, I would not be shocked, especially in some places up here, that you do not touch freezing today. Right now, we're at 29 degrees here in the metro. I'm very, very, very concerned that we may not touch freezing at this point here. So we're going to go ahead and take this out all the way. Give me 1 second. Let me go back here to this real quickly here. Let me just kind of take this out a little bit, because I think that was the old run. Okay, so this is the newest one. Right around 11 o'clock here, okay? So it's going to be showing just basically the same thing. There's your freezing line right there, your precipitation overrunning, and that's those heavier showers that you're seeing on the map here. That's the ones that you're going to have to watch out for the potential of seeing some heavier freezing rain coming in. And keep in mind, this is all freezing rain back here. Let's take this off for just a bit. I'm going to disable this layer for a second. This is the 32-degree line, by the way, okay? So all that precipitation you're seeing back here in western Arkansas, northern Arkansas, and in central, that is all freezing precipitation. That's just the reason why it's showing rainfall, is because your temperatures aloft are not cold enough to support frozen precipitation, which is sleet and snow. However, the rain is falling, it's freezing on contact. So that's the 32-degree line here. And by the way, give me 1 second here. I'm going to pull up the timing. I don't know why timing disappeared on you guys. This is right around 1 o'clock this afternoon. There's your 32-degree line. So that's what I'm saying. Some folks may not get above freezing for us today here, guys. So that's something that we're going to have to watch and keep an eye on here. But just kind of keep that in mind, that some folks may not be getting above freezing for today here. So I'm going to take this out just a little bit. There's the timing map, by the way, back up. So right around 1 o'clock, there's your 32-degree line. Let's go ahead and talk about the precipitation here, okay? So all of that precipitation that you just saw was freezing rain and sleet, okay? Everyone's talking about school closing, etc. As I said before, we do not control the school closings. We don't control all of that. We just tell you guys what you need to know, and we go from there. We don't control any sort of any sort of decision making at this point here. But if you do feel like you need to reach out to us, feel free. We'll try to help you to the best of our abilities here, guys. But we don't control the school closings, we don't control the watches or warnings or anything like that. Our job is just the reporting of that. So and so forth. There is the freezing line here. I'm gonna kind of overlay this one more time so you guys can see it. Okay, so there's the freezing line right in there. Okay, where that blue is, that's where the freezing line is. All this precipitation up here is freezing rain, sleet, and even in some cases up here in northwestern Arkansas, I can't rule out a little bit of snow on the back side of this, but I'm not expecting a whole lot of snow with this, guy. So this is right around 2 o'clock, by the way. And look at this. This is 2 o'clock, by the way. Okay, this is 2 o'clock, and you are still below freezing across much of the area. Okay, this is why we were telling you guys over the last couple of days that temperatures were going to have a very hard time getting above freezing. The purple, by the way, is freezing rain and sleet on this. This model is basically what it's doing is trying to separate the difference between frozen precip, which is sleet and snow, and freezing rain, which is just basically rain on here. But you're seeing the purples, meaning the potential of some sleet, and then these yellow cores that you're seeing on the map, that's the heavier precipitation, that's the heavier bands, the convective bands that we could be seeing by the time we get towards this afternoon here. So this is kind of like almost dealing with a severe threat, but instead of it being 70s and 80s, it's in the 20s and 30s here across the air here. But you can see that freezing line, folks. It does not jump much at all. This is 3 o'clock this afternoon, by the way. Okay, so we're at 3 o'clock now. We're still below freezing across much of the area. Now, southern Arkansas, as we've been stressing, it's going to be primarily a cold rain down there. Okay, but this is 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So if you're wondering about timing, you're wondering about what's going on across your area, this is the perfect time to take a look here. And I'm going to actually zoom this down so you guys can see the cities a little better here. But those heavier bands, and this is what I do not like about our Futurecast, by the way. Those heavier bands that you're seeing, those yellows, those reds, that is what is the heavier precipitation. And I cannot rule out some folks seeing thunder, freezing rain, thunder, sleet. There is a good amount of aloft instability that we're going to be dealing with this event, folks. So just kind of keep that in mind, okay? So I'm going hour by hour. I'm not trying to speed blitz this or anything. I'm going hour by hour. That way you guys have a better idea on what to look at here. So there's round one. And by the way, this is going to be in multiple rounds. It's not going to be all in one and then that's it. You're going to have multiple rounds of precipitation because you're going to have moisture coming in at the same time here. So everybody that's asking if I'm going to get this or I'm going to get that, pay attention right now, okay? This is what we're looking at. This is the Futurecast that you're looking at here, folks. So this is what we're looking at here. The rainfall that you're seeing here is frozen precipitation. This is freezing rain that you're seeing, okay? 32-degree line stretches from Little Rock, just south of Mena, just north of Nashville, up into northeastern Arkansas. Let me circle this real quick. All of this precipitation that you're seeing is frozen precipitation, okay? All of that is freezing rain, okay? And how freezing rain works is this. You're going to see it, and it's going to be regular rain. I promise you, you're going to think it's regular rain, it's a cold rain. But temperatures are going to be below freezing. So that means the rain that is falling is going to freeze on contact, okay? That's freezing rain. Then you're going to have your sleet, and then in some cases, especially in northwestern Arkansas, it could be a little bit of snow, especially on the backside of this. But that's what's going to be happening here. So if it's raining in your location and it's in the 20s, it's freezing rain. I promise you it's freezing rain, okay? So that's how it is. I think this is probably our big first major freezing rain event here in Arkansas. I know Southeast Arkansas saw it with the last event. But this is our first major freezing rain event for much of Arkansas at this point here, guys. So let me see here. So before, there's the rainfall here, and there's the freezing line, by the way, okay? So the freezing line stretches here. Let me turn this off so you guys can see the freezing line a little better, okay? It stretches just south of Mena, Nashville. There's Little Rock. It hardly moves at all today, okay? This is why we're saying much of the area that's under the winter storm warning is going to be below freezing for today, okay? Up here in northwestern Arkansas, you may be lucky, and you can see here, some places may not even get out of the low 20s up there in northwestern Arkansas, okay? So that's the freeze line right in here. We're going to go back to our precipitation real fast. So kind of overlaying the precipitation, all of that is freezing rain and sleet across the area. Some of it could be heavy at times. And I'm looking at the comments right now, folks. Please keep it professional, okay? This is a very serious situation. If you have a negative comment, we're not going to bother with it, guys. Just keep it professional in the comments, folks. This is a very, very serious situation here at this point, okay? So this is now 7 o'clock, by the way. Okay, freezing line still kind of stationary across the area. Round 2 is beginning to move into Arkansas by this point. And then this is going to continue throughout much of the overnight hours here. And this is why we're very concerned about the ice potential with this, guys. Okay, because this is going to set up, and some places may not get out of the freezing rain until probably tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow evening, folks. So just kind of keep that in mind, okay? So this is 9 o'clock going over the area here. A lot of freezing rain still continue across the area. The freezing line is basically just trapped right through central Arkansas. This is a classic freezing rain setup across the area here if you were to go what our Futurecast run here. So you can see what's going on here. Now, northern Arkansas, you may be dealing with a little bit of dry air issues up there. But it should fill in pretty quickly by the time we get towards tonight into tomorrow morning here. Now, this is what's concerning me, by the way. This is 10 o'clock tonight, okay? And I know you're looking at this and you're thinking, where did all the purple, where did all the white go, okay? This is all precipitation. This is all frozen precipitation, by the way, okay? Your aloft temperatures are so warm that the model is showing rainfall versus sleet and snow. Okay, so this is why we're looking at this right now. I'm going to go over precipitation types in just a bit and the totals and everything else, okay? But here's what we're looking at this point. And this is why I'm concerned about the potential of seeing thunder, freezing rain, and thunder sleet. Notice the heavier cores that you're seeing on this map here. Okay, that is right on the freezing line. That's going through central Arkansas into southwestern Arkansas. And then down here in southeastern Arkansas is where you're seeing the heavier totals down here. This is where you're seeing the heavier thunderstorm activity down there in southwestern Arkansas. So this is what I'm concerned about right here in central Arkansas. That we're going to have to watch that as we get towards tonight here. So don't be shocked if you get a random thunderstorm over your area throughout tonight here. We're not expecting any sort of severe weather or anything like that. However, just kind of keep that in mind here. And this right here is very, very concerning. This is right over the metro at 11 o'clock tonight, and your temperatures are right at or just below freezing. That is heavy freezing rain being depicted on our Futurecast, by the way. Okay, so you're looking at this, and I'm saying before because I know everyone's kind of tuning into this, and they're probably looking at this thinking it's going to be a cold rain. I promise you, this is all freezing rain. Okay, this is all freezing rain across this area. The only places that's going to see the cold rain is down here in southern Arkansas, where you don't have any kind of advisories or anything like that. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind across this board here. Okay, and then you can see right around midnight tonight. Okay, same thing. And this is what's concerning. Look at there. There's your 32-degree line, stationary, right across the area, and that heavier band right in there. I am very concerned about some folks seeing possibly a half an inch or even greater amount of ice totals across the area. And I'm going to get to the ice totals here in just a bit. But this is what we're looking at here. So this is right around midnight tonight here. Just kind of a visualization on what the Futurecast is trying to produce at this point here. Okay, so this is 1 o'clock, by the way. So I'm going to get this out to about 18 hours out. But you can see what happens here. And this is sleet trying to pick up as well. But the 32-degree line is just stalled out right across central Arkansas at this point. Okay, so if you're needing outage information, etc., someone just posted it on the comments. Thank you for that. Rain and sleet right now in Russellville. I'm just trying to go over Futurecast, that way folks that are asking about timing have a little bit of an idea. This is going to be posted, by the way, as soon as this live stream is over here. But you can see right in here, this is what I'm worried about, by the way. Okay, those heavier cores right here. This is why I'm saying the potential of freezing rain, thunder freezing rain, and thunder sleet is possible across the area. And everyone's saying nothing here, nothing there yet. I promise you guys it's going to be coming as we get towards this afternoon and into this evening here, guys. So this is what we're going to be looking at. Round 1 is going to be moving through, and then as we get towards late tonight and into Thursday, you're going to have another round that's going to be popping up throughout this point here. But this is what I'm worried about at this time here. All that being shown with the computer model, guys, with those orange and those reds right over the sub-freezing air. That's the kind of stuff that you have to watch out for whenever you're dealing with the potential of freezing rain. That could lead to some significant ice accumulations across the board. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch this over, by the way, and we're going to go ahead and talk about the accumulations here. So you've already saw it on the page this morning, but I am going to kind of go over it real fast here, okay? So we're going to take this off the map real quick. Give me 1 second. I'm going to take the radar off for just a bit, and we're going to talk about it, okay? So this is the freezing rain accumulation map, okay? Basically, in the area in purple is where you can see the potential of a ½ an inch upwards to 3/4 of an inch of ice. That is significant icing in this area. And I want to stress that some of these amounts could be a little bit underdone because of the fact that we may potentially see thunder freezing rain or thunder sleet in some areas, okay? A widespread area of at least 1/4 to a ½ an inch of freezing rain across the board. And in southern Arkansas right now, we have about a glaze to maybe down there, maybe a 1/10 of an inch of ice down there in southwestern Arkansas. It's still a wait and see. I think the cold rain is going to kind of fight the accumulation down there in southern and southwest Arkansas here. But you can see in the majority of the area, 1/4 to a ½ an inch of ice. That purple area, that's where some folks can see a ½ an inch upwards to 3/4 of an inch of ice across the board here. So just kind of keep that in mind throughout tonight. And this goes all the way to tomorrow evening. I know a lot of people are going to see this and they're going to think that it's just going to be the night and it's over. This is going to stretch all the way to tomorrow evening. Okay, and this is probably going to be a 24-hour event for us here in Arkansas. All right. Now, let's talk about the ice damage threat. Now, this is something that I forgot to post yesterday in the live stream, but I got to it today. Okay? We've gone to 1 down there in southwest Arkansas. So basically that means there could be possibly some outages if you see accumulations down there in southwestern Arkansas and southern Arkansas. The 2 area is where you could see some scattered power outages here. And keep this in mind, that this is probably going to get updated this afternoon. If I see higher accumulations with the computer model guidance and higher trends with the potential of these heavier bandings with the freezing rain, I promise you I will introduce a 4 with this map, okay? The reason why I didn't is because the winds are, first of all, calm, and then 2, the ice accumulations are not called for the 4 and 5s just yet. But you can see in the majority areas too, so that scattered power outages being possible, and in that 3 area, okay, that goes to north central and northeastern Arkansas, the potential power outages is on the table, and also some tree limb damages could be that as well. So just kind of keep that in mind in this area, and this is going to get updated this afternoon here. Just kind of, we're trying to watch trends right now, trying to see what's going to be happening this afternoon here. Then of course, if your area is not highlighted, you're not in a threat for any sort of ice damage across the area here. So this was all posted on the page, by the way. If you're new here, don't rely on just the live streams. Take a look at the page. Take 5 seconds, look at the page. Give us a like and follow while you're there. All your information is going to be there as well, okay? So this is the winter weather precipitation outlook for today, into tonight, and into Thursday, and into Thursday evening, okay? The majority of the area will see predominantly freezing rain, okay? We're talking from central to northeastern Arkansas down to southwest. Southwest, cold rain is going to be interfering with you guys. And I said before, this is one of the situations that you want a cold rain. You want it to be a cold rain across the board. But rain and freezing rain down there in southwest Arkansas, southeast Arkansas right now, I think you guys are going to be kind of in a battle zone from cold rain, possibly even some thunderstorms down there in southeastern Arkansas. I can't rule that out either. And then further to the north and west, freezing rain and sleet. And then further northwest from there in northwestern Arkansas, the Benton, Washington County, and western Carroll County up there, I can't rule out some light snow ending with this. But the potential is there for impactful winter storm, and also the potential of thunder, freezing rain, and sleet is possible. And I promise you guys, it is not hype. You guys will never see that here in Arkansas Weather Watchers unless we are fully anticipating it. And I promise you, with the soundings that we've looked at, all the real-time data we looked at, everything that's been happening with this event, that is on the table for this afternoon and this evening and into the night. It's a very awesome thing to experience, but at the same time, it accelerates your ice accumulation. It accelerates your potential here. So that's basically it. Now I'm going to try to tackle some questions here. So everybody's asking about the roads. First thing I'm going to tell you guys, I know there's going to be somebody that's going to be out there that's going to be trying to travel because it looks like rain. Rain and freezing rain is basically dealing with a whole completely different beast. Okay, whenever you're looking at road conditions and it's just rainfall and you're thinking, okay, there's nothing going on, that's where it can be bad. You got to pay attention to your temperatures, and you got to pay attention to the precipitation time, because this is going to be most situations where you have the freezing rain falling and it looks like regular rain. You get out on the roadways and the roads are going to be slick. Okay, so road conditions are not going to be perfect tonight. Okay, the road conditions are going to be hazardous. You do not need to travel this evening or into the night. Okay, also keep in mind that we're going to be looking at the potential of sleet as well. The sleet and freezing rain mix, that's something that you don't want to see with this event, because that will impact road conditions as well, and also power outages. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind for tonight here. If you see that and it looks like regular rain, pay attention to your temperatures, because if your temperatures are below freezing and you're seeing rainfall, that is freezing rain, and the roads are going to be very, very hazardous. Okay, I know most schools are closing. This one, Vanessa, I think this one's going to be a little bit worse than the last one. The last one, the cold air got here quicker. It was much a sleet event, and then southeast Arkansas saw the ice. This one, the aloft temperatures are much warmer. So this one's going to be predominantly a freezing rain event for us here in Arkansas. Further to the northwest, freezing rain and sleet. And then up there in northwestern Arkansas, I can't rule out a little bit of snow on the back side of this thing. But rain and freezing rain down there in southern Arkansas, and in southeast Arkansas, cold rain out of this. But keep that in mind, okay? And I know everybody's asking about road conditions. Folks, do not plan to travel tonight. Just don't do it. I know everybody's got plans and stuff. Don't travel. It's not worth it. I promise you it's not going to be worth it. Down there in southern Arkansas, you may get a little lucky down there, because the 32-degree line is going to be kind of fighting you guys a little bit between that 32 and 33-degree line down there in southern Arkansas. But do not travel tonight if you're in central and northern Arkansas. Just don't even attempt it. Everybody's asking about Saturday. Yes, the roads are going to be perfectly clear by the time we get towards Saturday, but for the next 24 hours, the roads are going to be hazardous. Everybody's urging, do not travel tonight. Okay, freezing rain is a completely different beast to deal with versus sleet and snow. Okay, keep that in mind. All right, 1/4 of an inch to 3/4 of an inch of freezing rain is nothing to take lightly at all. That is a worst case scenario for freezing rain. You do not want those kind of amounts. That's where you could see the potential of seeing significant ice issues. We're talking roads, we're talking power outages, etc. Luckily for us, the winds are not going to be that big of an issue. However, I'm thinking the accumulations could be a bigger problem for us here in Arkansas. So just kind of keep that in mind. That counties, by the way, are on the right side of the screen. The cities are on the left side here. So folks, pay attention to the graphics as well. Don't just glim at it and just take it off. You got to look at it. You got to take more than 5 seconds with these graphics. You got to look and see, because we have cities and the counties on there as well here. So just going over everything. My husband has to work until 4 in Pocahontas. When should he be leaving? I think it's going to be coming in right around that time frame here. So you should be good. The thing about freezing rain and sleet is freezing rain, if you're at 31, 32 degrees, it's going to take some time for the roads to start deteriorating. Yes, you have to be careful on the roadways, but it's going to take a little bit of time for it to kind of settle in and kind of make the roads hazardous. So if it's just occurring, you should be okay, but that gives you a little bit of a narrow time frame, probably a good 2 to 3 hour time frame, depending on your temperatures. That's something that you just have to watch. If you're traveling long distances, etc., I wouldn't plan on traveling. If it's a short thing, short range distance, then you should be relatively okay, but you got to be very careful on the roadways, guys. I know everybody's asking about the roads, when would it be unsafe? We're talking this afternoon, into this evening, and into tomorrow morning, okay? Do not travel. Do not travel. Let me repeat that. Do not travel. It's not worth it. It is not worth it at all. Okay, no job, no plans is worth you guys going out in freezing rain and sleet, and the roads being a complete nightmare here. So we're talking the difference between sleet and freezing rain. Okay, now the difference between sleet and freezing rain is all about aloft temperatures, all about the temperatures upstairs. Okay, freezing rain is basically rain, but instead of it falling and not sticking, basically the freezing rain is falling and it's freezing on contact. Okay, so your surface temperatures is below freezing. Okay, Sleet is a different story because your rain is freezing right before it hits the surface. That's why there's a little ice pillars. That's sleet. So freezing rain is basically rain. The problem is you're below freezing. So that's the whole thing about freezing rain and sleet. The sleet is a little bit easier to travel on, just a little bit. Still can cause major impacts on the roadways, but freezing rain is a completely different beast. You're talking power outage potential. You're talking roads being very, very hazardous. Something that you don't ever want to see with freezing rain. Okay, you never want to deal with freezing rain. You always want to deal with sleet or snow, or even in some cases a cold rain here. But just do not plan on traveling. Okay, just do not plan on traveling. It's not worth it, guys. And you can see up there in northwest Arkansas, Sandra, she's made a great comment. Sidewalks are already covered up there in Fort Smith. That's in northwestern Arkansas, western Arkansas, with this event coming in. Okay, so if your sidewalks are already covered, then your roads are greatly deteriorating across the board. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Roads Thursday night, yes, roads are going to be bad Thursday night and then Friday morning. Okay, no plans, no work is worth you guys going out in ice. It's just not worth it at this point. Okay, so just kind of going over everything right now. And folks, said before, we're gonna try to tackle as many questions as we can. If I don't get to your question, I do apologize. Okay, so I think I've answered your question. Thank you guys. Let's see here. Just kind of going over everything right now here. So what do we think about travel Friday morning, specifically in Jonesboro to Memphis for a flight? Right now, Scarlett, I think you should be relatively good to go. We'll have to wait and see Friday morning how the roads is up there in the Jonesboro area. It's a wait and see. Just kind of keep in mind that until we get to that point, it's going to be a little bit difficult in seeing how roads are, because what we saw with the last event is the roads got better relatively quick. So we're going to watch that. We'll have road conditions posted on the page, guys. We'll have all the information posted on the page. So if you're new to the page, we've gotten a lot of new people here over the last 12 to 24 hours. Take a look at the page. Take a look at everything else. Don't rely on just your news feed. Actually click on the page, take a look, and all your information is going to be there. All the information that you need on our YouTube, on our Twitter, and on Facebook as well. All the information you're going to need is there as well. I've already gone over timing. If you need that, just kind of rewind the live stream, and you'll have all that going on at this point here. So what's going on here in Central Arkansas right now? We have people wanting to cancel appointments. Probably a good idea, Jessica. It's probably a really good idea, because the freezing rain and sleet is going to be moving in by the time we get towards the next couple of hours. So we're gonna take this back, by the way. Let's go back to our radar real quickly here. We'll go back to our Futurecast real fast, and let's talk about that here. So give me 1 second. I did not mean to do that. Okay, so this is right around. Let's go back to this afternoon. Okay, so this is what we got going on. There's your freezing line right in here. Okay, so you're going to have precipitation moving in. You're going to have precipitation quickly moving in this area, and the temperatures are going to be below freezing. So keep that in mind for this afternoon here. If you have to cancel any plans, it's a really good idea. What will be the next live? Honestly, let's see, we're at 9 o'clock this morning. I'll probably have one around 1, 2 o'clock this afternoon. But Lando, all the information you need is on the page as well. So don't rely just on the live streams. All the information you need is going to be on the page. Everything is simplified for you guys, I promise you. Okay, so the roads are already covered up there in Crawford County. Thank you for that comment. Let me see here. I wish not traveling this weather is an option. Currently on a shift until 7 a.m. tomorrow, folks. Honestly, I'm going to tell you guys this, okay? If you don't feel like traveling, feel free to call in, okay? And if they have a problem with it, send them our way, basically, okay? Because no life is worth it for a job, okay? If you don't feel like traveling, feel free to call in, please. Just please call in. I promise you, traveling on freezing rain is a completely different beast. And I said before, this is our first major freezing rain event for us here in Arkansas. Last event, the majority of everybody saw sleet and freezing rain. No, excuse me, sleet and snow. And then the freezing rain was kind of limited down there in southeast Arkansas. This time around, the majority of the area is going to see freezing rain. So you guys are going to experience what southeast Arkansas and east Arkansas experienced with the last event. If you have any friends over there, they're going to tell you how it is. They're going to tell you dealing with freezing rain is a completely different beast than dealing with sleet and snow. Okay, so I think that's the reason why everybody's kind of confused about this situation, because this one is our first major freezing rain event across the state. It's not a sleet or a snow event. It's a freezing rain event for much of Arkansas. So if you know anybody in eastern and southeastern Arkansas, they're going to tell you how it is. They had it with the event earlier on this month. Freezing rain is a completely different beast to deal with. I promise you, you're not going to be wanting to travel on the roadways across the board. Our best case is that we get the cold air here quicker and we transition over from freezing rain to sleet. My problem is your 32-degree line is literally right here. And also another thing that I want to show you guys here while I have this up, and this is what's called a 925 millibar temperature. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this up. Okay, so this is 925, by the way. All right, so basically anything along and behind that line is below freezing at 925. So your surface is here, 925 is basically right here. So your rain's gonna be falling, freeze, and then it's gonna hit surface. The problem is that this is such a shallow cold air that it may not be enough to completely freeze the raindrops. Okay, this is the reason why you have to watch this closely, because this is right around that 1 to 2 degrees Celsius, and you can see that's 29, 30, 31. So it's right at the bare minimum. I'm worried that you're gonna have so much warm air that you may not be able to freeze those raindrops, and it may stay freezing rain during this entire thing. So that's something that we're going to have to watch. And this is 850, by the way. So now you're talking aloft temperatures here. You can see, by the way, very, very warm across the board here. That's aloft temperatures, by the way. 40s and 50s across the air. This is why you're seeing more rain versus sleet and snow with this. This is why we talk about winter precipitation types all the time here with this. And folks, everybody's comparing this to another 2000 or 2009 ice storm. No event's the same. Every event is unique in its own way. If it compares to that, we'll talk about it after this event's over with, but I don't think it's going to get to that extent. Those events are what's called a generational event. Okay, so every event is different in their own way. You can't compare it to just one event or anything like that. Every event is different in their own unique way. Alright, so we can talk about it once we get past this event. Then we can try to make some comparisons here. I really hope we don't get to that level, because we start talking those amounts that we saw in 2009, we're going to see some significant impacts here in Arkansas. But I'm really hoping we don't get to that point here. So Derek is actually reporting some sleet up there in northern Little Rock right now here. So that's good news, by the way. Okay, that's good news that we're seeing the 925 temperatures, kind of similar with the last event, where your 925 came in and it shut off the freezing rain. My problem is this: we're going to have to watch these temperatures very closely here, because this is what happens by the time we get to us. Let's take this out to 8 o'clock tonight, okay? Alright, so it's popped up as 9, by the way, but it should be popping up here shortly, okay? So this is my problem. Your 925 is going to start retracting back towards north. This is why freezing rain is going to gradually become more of an issue here, because your 925 is not as cold as it was before. So your raindrops are falling. They're trying to freeze, but they can't. This favors more of a freezing rain sleet mix versus a predominant sleet event. So something to kind of keep that in mind here. You don't want freezing rain and sleet mix either. That can cause some significant road issues across the board here. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I appreciate everybody for being here on this live stream. I'm trying to get to everybody's question as quickly as I can. I know patience is kind of running thin with most folks here, but I'm going to try to get to everybody as quickly as I can. So just kind of be patient with me. I'm going to try to get to this here. So I work in an ambulance, calling in. Calling in also risks people's lives here. April, that's a great comment. Please, please, please drive safe. If you have to go out tonight, please, 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 please drive safe tonight. I promise you, freezing rain is a completely different beast. Okay, we're not saying this to kind of hype up anything or cause mass panic or anything like that. We're just trying to tell you guys that freezing rain is a completely different beast. We've been through this before. Okay, like I said before, eastern and southeast Arkansas, our viewers there, they'll tell you how freezing rain is. It shuts off your power. It brings down tree limbs. It causes major road issues. Okay, you do not want freezing rain. This is why we're urging to you guys so much about travel. Please do not travel tonight. If you have to travel, keep in mind that the roads are going to be very hazardous, and you need to take your time on the roadways if you have to get out tonight, okay? Will this all be clear by Friday? Friday right now is a debatable question. Early on Friday, no. Throughout the afternoon and the evening, probably so. I think the roads are probably going to make a quick recovery with this, but Friday morning, definitely no, because you're going to be below freezing on Friday morning, okay? Because you're going to have some cold air coming in behind it. It's not going to be a major drop in temperatures, but you're going to have some cold air coming in behind it. So Friday morning, no, but Friday evening and the Friday night, I think you should be okay. But I want to stress that we're going to have to watch temperatures. We're going to have to watch how the road conditions are. We'll have all that information on the page, folks. I promise you we will, okay? Should I cancel afternoon appointments is it going to be for today, or is it, we're talking Friday, or etc.? Brandy, if you can give me a date on that as well here. Heather, we will talk about that once we get past this winter storm. Right now, that one's still a wait and see. I haven't even, to be honest with you, haven't even looked at Saturday. I've been so focused with this event, with this. But once we get past it, we will definitely kind of talk about that one at this point here. So, raining in Conway, Carrie, that is not rain. That is freezing rain that you're seeing. That's what I'm saying. Folks, do not get blindsided by it being strictly rain, okay? Freezing rain is... I'm trying to word this to a way that you guys can kind of understand what I'm talking about with freezing rain, okay? Freezing rain is going to look like a regular rain shower, okay? It's a that's the most hidden danger that you deal with freezing rain, because it looks like regular rain. It looks like just pure rain, everything's fine, it's just a rain shower, but you're below freezing, okay? This is why we're saying that you guys, you need to pay attention to your temperatures, because if you're below freezing, you're getting regular rain, that is freezing rain. That means that rain is falling and it's freezing on contact, okay? That's why we're harping on you guys so much about travel and about power outages, guys. Freezing rain is a hidden beast, okay? It looks like regular rain, but then you get on the roadways, and the roadways are completely hazardous, okay? So, Alan, that's a great comment. It freezes on contact. That's why we're saying freezing. That's why it's called freezing rain, because it freezes on contact, okay? So, let me see here, going over things. So, pouring rain in Texarkana right now. Let's go to your current statewide radar real quickly here. And I'm gonna kind of overlay the temperatures real quickly too. So we're gonna talk about that real fast here. So this is your 32-degree line, by the way. All right, and I did not mean to do that. Let's go back over to this real quick, and we're gonna go back over to our radar real fast here. So radar should be pulling up here shortly. But this is current temperatures, by the way. That's your 32-degree line. So Texarkana right now, it is a cold rain down there in Texarkana. There's your current radar at this point. And you can see what's going on. A good amount of freezing rain, sleet up here across western Arkansas, regular rain down here in southern Arkansas. But you can see the 32-degree line stretching all the way into southern Arkansas at this point. Okay, so freezing precipitation, light freezing rain, light sleet across the metro, and a lot of freezing rain and sleet over here in western Arkansas at this point. This will build in by the time we get towards this afternoon and into this evening, folks. Okay. I cannot stress that enough. You gotta be careful on the roadways, folks. You gotta be careful. If you don't want to listen to us, that's fine. But you gotta be careful on the roadways whenever you're dealing with freezing rain and sleet, because it can cause major issues on the roadways, guys. I cannot stress that enough. Okay, so Batesville school's closing at 1. That's something I would like to see. I have gotten a call. It's confirmed Cabot is getting out of school at 12:30 due to possible road conditions. That's a good point. That's what you're looking at right now, Lee, is current radar. Let me go ahead and make this a full screen so you guys can see it a little better here. So bear me for a bit. It's gonna full screen itself. So there's the current radar at this point. Okay, you can see, and this is what's going on. Take a look at this down here. Okay. Let's zoom in on this down here in southwestern Arkansas. Look at Nashville. That's a heavier band of rain going into sub-freezing air. This is what I'm talking about. This is a live radar that you're seeing right now here. So some thunderstorm activities trying to get going down here in the southern Arkansas. This is why we're saying that we're going to have to watch out for the potential of seeing heavy freezing rain in this area. Okay. Do we think the roads are going to be iced over? Yes. The roads are going to be very, very treacherous to travel on, folks. No plan is worth you going out and dealing with ice. Now, I promise you it's not. Okay? So, Let me see here. This is what we got going on here. But this is what I wanted to show you guys here. And you can see the darker greens, the yellows, and even some oranges here. Some thunderstorm activity is trying to get going down here in southern Arkansas. So that's going to be moving into that sub-freezing area. There's your 32-degree line right in there. Okay. So this is what we're talking about. And the precipitation is building in quickly across the area. So this is why we're saying road conditions are going to continuously get worse. Do not travel, guys. If you have to travel, please be very, very careful across the area. If you see sleet, that's great. If you see a cold rain out of this, that is perfectly fine. Like I said before, I told you guys this in the live stream yesterday. Dealing with a cold rain in this situation is something I would rather prefer versus the freezing rain potential out of this. But this is what we got going at this point here. Okay. So what I'm gonna do for just a bit, I'm gonna pull up. Let's pull up the METARs real quick. So basically the METARs is the current temperature. So that way you guys can see what I'm talking about. So basically there's your 32-degree line right here, and then there's your temperature is going to start pulling up. Okay. So right now, Little Rock, you're at 30. Texarkana, you're at right here. You're about 36 degrees. Okay. Mena, 28. Fort Smith, 25. 18, 19 up here in northwestern Arkansas. Okay, so you're hovering right around that 28, 30-degree line. That is where you're going to start seeing impacts to roadways right at that point. Okay, your 32-degree line is in southern Arkansas. All right, so we're going to have to watch that close here, but you can see the moisture beginning to override that cold air, and that's where you're seeing the potential of seeing freezing rain and some sleet ongoing at this point. Everybody asking about snow. You might as well get that out of your mind right now. You're not going to see snow out of this event unless you live up here in northwestern Arkansas. This is not going to be a snow event for us here in Arkansas. I promise you. This is purely ice. Purely ice event with this system here. So here's something about Friday night driving. Friday night you should be good to go. Okay, and that's what I'm saying. Throughout the first part of Friday morning, that's where travel is going to be at its worst. The road conditions should gradually get better by the time we get towards the afternoon and into the evening on Friday. So if you have any Friday night plans or anything like that, you should be good to go. But we'll have to watch the roadways. We'll keep you guys informed all night here. Honestly, temperatures for today, that is a debatable thing. And honestly, I wouldn't surprise me if temperatures don't go up much from here. Okay, we're about almost 10 o'clock in the morning. We're still hovering around 30 degrees here with precipitation coming in. What I'm going to do for just a bit is I'm going to switch this over to dew points. This is my problem. Okay, so you're at 30 degrees, right? 30 degrees here. Your dew point is 21 with precipitation falling. As precipitation falls, your freezing line, not the freezing line, your dew point, excuse me, and your surface temperatures are going to meet. Okay, if you're at 21 dew point and 30 surface and precipitation is falling, you have the potential of getting to probably 27, 28 before they meet. And that's where you could have some significant issues. As a matter of fact, with these dew points being this low, I honestly would not be shocked if temperatures actually fell a couple of degrees today versus increased. Okay, we'll have to watch that closely, but dew points are a lot lower than we were firstly anticipating here. And dew points play a crucial role whenever you're trying to deal with frozen precipitation across the board here. But you can see right here, you're at 34 degrees now here. So now you've gone over a cold rain down here. So in Arkansas, 32 in Arkadelphia, 30 in Little Rock, 25 in Fort Smith, 30 up there in Jonesboro, 19, a bone-chilling 19 in Fayetteville right now in northwestern Arkansas here. And you're wondering, you're at 18 degrees, by the way. Okay, you're wondering why you're not seeing snow up here in northwestern Arkansas. It's because of your aloft temperatures being so warm across the board. Okay, your aloft temperatures are extremely warm up here in this area. And look at here. Okay, there's some lightning trying to be detected with our radar here. And you can see back out here towards Oklahoma where the lightning is being depicted. All this activity, by the way, is moving into Arkansas by this point. So kind of keep that in mind. We're going to be watching this situation very, very closely here. But you're hovering 29, 30 degrees in the metro, 27 in Russellville, 25 in Fort Smith, 36 down here in Camden. This is where your cold rain is going to be down here in southern Arkansas. This is where we're going to have to watch down here for the cold rain. But I would not be shocked, especially in southwest Arkansas, if your temperatures fell a little bit enough where you could have a little bit of some freezing rain down here in southern Arkansas. So Ozark up there, western Arkansas, sleet is supposed to last. Yes, it's going to last all day, folks. This is not going to be a quick round or anything like that. You got to be prepared for this. This is going to last all the way until Thursday evening, okay? You may have a little bit of breaks here and there, but this is going to last all the way to Thursday evening here. So that's a great question. Is this winter event better or worse than the last one we just got through dealing with? Honestly, I'd say worse, because you're dealing with a lot more warm air aloft. So basically that means that you're dealing with a lot more freezing rain versus sleet. You got to remember, with the last event, the majority of everybody saw sleet or snow with the last event, where the freezing rain was kind of down here in southeastern Arkansas, okay? Now you've taken that freezing rain and you've pushed it and expanded it about 500 miles to the north and to the west, okay? So now you're talking freezing rain for a much bigger scale versus just down there in southeastern Arkansas, okay? So this is why we're saying freezing rain and sleet is a lot more impactful in this situation versus the snow potential, because snow potential is not even going to happen unless you live up here in northwestern Arkansas, where you may see a little bit up there, but it's not going to be anything significant in terms of snowfall potential. But this is going to be an ice event, a full-scale ice event for us here in Arkansas, okay? So let me see here. So everybody's seeing rain down there in Glenwood right now here. Let's take a look at that real quickly here. So there's your temperatures here, by the way, that you can zoom down on. Okay, so Glenwood down here, we're talking right around that freezing 33-degree line right here. But you can see, look at there, by the way. Look what's going on with that, right? So we can track this, by the way, okay? Something cool that you're going to see. Once it tracks into that freezing air, it's going to change to freezing rain immediately, okay? So you can see what's going on here. As soon as it moves in that sub-freezing air, it's becoming frozen precipitation. Okay, so this is what we're seeing at this point here. It is much colder. The air mass is much colder than we were, than guys was anticipating, and this is what we were talking about. But the cold air is sticking further to the south versus what computer model guidance had it at this point. Because remember, this was originally supposed to be a North Arkansas thing, and that's in. Everybody else was supposed to see a cold rain. Now we've brought that cold air further south. Now we've brought the potential of ice across the board here, and this is going to gradually pick up as we get towards this evening into the overnight hours here. So the Batesville area, and everybody that's asking about asking about cities, okay? I'm not going to be able to get to every single city in Arkansas. It's just not going to happen. I'm not going to be able to get to every single county in Arkansas, but the majority is going to see freezing rain and sleet, okay? Any plans, cancel them. You need to cancel them, okay? If you have to travel tonight, make it an emergency, okay? I know this kind of sprung on everybody. This kind of happened out of the blue. Something we've been talking about the last couple of days, but it may have gotten ignored because others were saying a different story. This is something that we were warning you guys about, okay? We've been talking about this the last couple of days, that this was the potential. So I know this kind of sprung on everybody, but keep that in mind, okay? The freezing rain and sleet potential goes for almost everybody across the board except for southern Arkansas. Down here it's going to be a cold rain. Northwest Arkansas, primarily sleet up here, but it's going to be a very difficult situation up here in northwest Arkansas. I don't think you're going to see a lot of snow out of this. I don't think it's just going to happen up there in northwest Arkansas, because you're warm air. You have a lot of warm air aloft with this, guys. But so this is what we got at this point. Okay, so I'm supposed to go to work tonight, but worry about climbing. Oh, do not do that at all. Do not do it. Just do not do it at this point, guys. Okay, all of them, do not do that at all. Just stay home. Stay home. If you need to call in, please. But this is what we were talking about. Okay, we were the only ones that were talking about the cold air coming further south. Some folks laughed at it. Some folks ignored it. This is what we were talking about, folks. This is why we tell you guys all the time that this was the potential. This was on the table, that the cold air was going to get here and it's going to be further south, and this was a legit possibility, and this is what we're seeing at this point, okay? So this is what we got. The freezing rain potential, sleet potential as well. We're going to watch this very closely. I'm very worried about potential thunder, freezing rain too. You can see back out here towards Oklahoma. If you're paying attention out here and you're seeing the kind of little bit like it looks like a glitch on here. I promise you it's not a glitch. Those are lightning strikes out there, okay? That tells me you have thunderstorm activity out here in southeastern Oklahoma, okay? So keep that in mind, okay? Thunder, freezing rain, and thunder sleet is on the table out here, okay? You can see that. You can see it. And like I said before, it looks like a glitch on the live stream, but those are lightning strikes out there. Those are lightning strikes out there in southeastern Oklahoma. So that is what is going on here. And honestly, Drew, you do not want to see it. Honestly, model guidance is probably either predicting probably a half an inch or even in some cases upwards to an inch of ice across the board. We'll have to wait and see on what happens all down here. But I do not like how the precipitation is building and it's starting to get expand across the air here. Now, what I'm going to do for just a bit is I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the national radar here. So I'm going to take this out for just a bit. Okay, we're going to show you guys national radar. Okay, by the way, this is not snow back out here. Okay, it's gonna show snow, but it's not snow. I promise. Your moisture supply is coming out of the Gulf of Mexico. Okay, so there's your moisture coming in at this point. Okay, that is all freezing rain coming in. And look at your 32 degree line, trying to mitigate northward a little bit, but not making much of headway at this point. All that moisture from the Gulf of Mexico is streaming northward. Here's your significant temperature difference, by the way. All right, so now you've gone from the teens up here in northwestern Arkansas to the 70s and near 80 degrees down here in southeastern Louisiana. That is a massive temperature difference between the two, and then your moisture is continuously moving over that sub-freezing air. Okay, so that's what's going on across the board. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the national one, but I want to kind of give you guys a visual of what's going on with the moisture here at this point. Okay, so we're gonna zoom this back down to Arkansas. Okay, let's zoom this back down to Arkansas, give you guys a little bit of what's going on. Okay, so you can see your 32 degree line trying its best, its hardest to move back to the north, but I just don't think it's going to make it too far into Arkansas with this one, guys. I think this one is a lot to do with freezing rain. I think this one's going to have a better shot of seeing freezing rain across the board here, guys. I'm very, very worried about that. So let me see here. Going over everything. Thank you guys, my team, by the way, for answering questions too. We're trying to get to everybody as quickly as we can, but just kind of keep in mind that something may not. Some questions may not get answered on here. And yes, I saw Mike. Yeah, Reed's been talking about this too. And Reed's one of those guys. He talks about stuff too. He's kind of like us. He talks about stuff and people laugh at him and stuff like that when it doesn't happen, and then it actually happens. So Reed's one of those great guys out there, great meteorologist out there. He's been talking about this as well with this event, that it could be a potential ice setup. And this is what we're saying. We sit here hours and hours on end looking at computer model guidance, looking at trends and everything else, and trying to forecast this to a T here, guys. But this is what we were talking about. That freezing rain potential is on the table here. So if you see sleet, that's great. Okay, it's gonna cause road issues, of course, but sleet is so much better than dealing with freezing rain. I promise you it is. Thunder sleet basically is a thunderstorm, but instead of it producing rainfall, it's producing sleet. Okay, hot springs, same thing. I've got a lot of questions about hot springs. Okay, everybody's in the same boat across this, no matter where you are, except for southern Arkansas down here. Everybody's in the same boat. Freezing rain, sleet is on the table. Okay, if you need that information, take a look at the page. All the information is on the page. All our maps, all the information on our website, everything's on the page, folks. I promise you, okay? So, let me see here. Roads are getting bad across Ozark. I'm going to try to pull that up, by the way, while I'm here. So, bear with me for just a bit. I'm going to see if I can try to get iDrive up real fast here. We can kind of take a look at that real fast. So, let me get that up for you guys to kind of look at the road conditions at this point here. But roads are getting bad across the board. Thank you for that comment, Audrey, up there in Ozark, which is in western Arkansas by this point. Okay, so let me see. Going over everything right now. Yeah, definitely. Oh boy, I see exactly what's going on over here. Roads are really, really trashed over here in western Arkansas. So what I'm gonna do for just a second, everybody, I'm gonna switch this over to this real fast. Okay, so we're gonna switch this over. Okay, I did not mean to do that. We're gonna go over to this real fast. Okay, so I'm gonna swing this down here, and we're gonna look at the road conditions. Okay, so this is current road conditions, by the way, that you're seeing across the board. This is what I'm talking about. Road conditions are already hazardous across western Arkansas, and this is with the first round that's coming in. This is the exact first one. This is exactly what I'm talking about here. Roads are iced over in northwestern Arkansas. Okay? Now keep in mind, your temperatures out here are in the teens up here in northwestern Arkansas. You're seeing freezing rain and sleet. But look at here. Look at Hot Springs already. Okay? Roads are becoming hazardous across the board here. Down in the Mena as well. Okay? This is why we're telling you guys right now, you do not need to travel. You don't need to try to plan traveling. Don't even attempt it, okay? Roads are becoming very, very hazardous over here in northwestern Arkansas already, okay? So this is exactly what we're talking about, folks. You have to watch that out very, very quickly. Lee, up there in Batesville, I say 3 o'clock. I say 2 or 3 o'clock up there. We have a timing map on the page, by the way. But I say around 3 o'clock it should be getting started, if not earlier. Model guidance has been kind of back and forth with timing. I'm thinking probably, as a matter of fact, I would say probably get a better idea probably about 1 o'clock because of how fast this came in. It should be coming in pretty quickly here. So also now starting to pick up some lightning along the Arkansas-Oklahoma border over here towards Polk County area. That's just west of Mena. Looks like a thunderstorm right now just west of Mena right now going over that sub-freezing air. So this is what we're talking about, folks. This is why we're saying road conditions are going to get bad over here. This is road conditions at this point. I'm going to see if I can pull up the key over here so you guys can see what I mean, okay? So the darker purple is going to be iced over, okay? The kind of the pinkish purple is the ice patches, okay? Most areas over here are straight purple, which means they're iced. They're completely iced over. That means that you're not going to be able to travel on these roads here, okay? So let's go ahead and take a look at some traffic cameras real quickly here. Let me see if I can get it up real fast, okay? So we're going to take a look at some traffic cameras while I have you guys up here. Let's take a look at some real quick. So this is just south of Fayetteville, by the way, mile marker 39. It should be popping up here quickly here. So what you can see, okay, so let's take a look at this, by the way, okay? So winds 15, 20 miles per hour here, but you can see, look at your roads already. White. Your roads are already white all across the board here, guys, okay? So road conditions are very, very hazardous across the board. Anybody that's traveling, look who's traveling, okay? You got U-Hauls. Kind of keep this in mind up here. Some of these vehicles are probably meant for winter precipitation, but keep in mind that road conditions are going to quickly become hazardous across the area. You got to be very careful on the roadways if you're traveling at this point. And freezing rain and sleet, you can see on the camera, it's starting to, first of all, starting to accumulate on the trees as well. But you can see right on the roadways, okay? Iced over already across the area. We're going to have to watch that very closely as we get towards night here, okay? Let's take a look at Fort Smith for just a bit as well. Rogers Avenue and Fort Smith. Look at there. Look at Fort Smith right now. Sleet covered. Alright. Folks that are traveling, please keep in mind that road conditions are going to be hazardous. If you have to travel, please be very careful on the roadways here. But travel, with it being 10 o'clock in the morning, is not that bad, which is something that we want to see. We want everybody kind of off the roads here. Precipitation is going to start building, and this occurred, by the way, within 2 to 3 hours. Okay, it did not take long with this at all. Okay, so you can see here what's going on here. The roads are very, very iced over across the board here, and it's going to get worse before it gets better, folks. So keep that in mind. Don't plan to travel, folks. I promise you. Okay, let's take a look at Southwest Arkansas. This is along 71. Now, this is a great example of what I'm talking about with freezing rain. Okay, so this looks like a clear road, right? Nothing major to it, right? Look what your road's looking like right now. Okay, completely iced over at this point. Okay, wet temperatures are about 27, 28 degrees in this area. This is what freezing rain looks like on the roadways. Okay. This is exactly what it looks like here across the area. It looks like regular rain, and it's saying it's a hidden danger with freezing rain, okay? Keep that in mind. This is what freezing rain looks like on the roadways, okay? It's going to look perfectly normal, but I promise you, this road right in here, temperatures being 28, 29 degrees, is iced over right now, okay? Keep that in mind, okay? Please be very, very careful on the roadways. That is what freezing rain looks like on the roadways, guys. I promise you, you do not want to travel across the board. Alright? Everywhere else at this point is relatively okay. Let's take a look near the Russellville area along 40. Okay? So 40, another example of what I'm talking about here. Mainly sleet in this area here, but you can see what's going on. Okay? That is actually, take that back. Let me take that back a little bit. That is sleet and freezing rain. That is a sleet and freezing rain mix along 40 right now. But you can see the precipitation falling onto the roadways here and instantly becoming ice. Okay, so keep that in mind. Do not travel, folks. If you have to travel, please be very, very careful on the roadways. Okay, so do we have a route? Okay, everybody's asking about timing. Timing is on the page. I'm going to repeat that. Timing is on the page at this point. Okay, no one has dodged a bullet. This event has not fully started. Folks, you gotta be patient with winter weather. Okay, let me repeat myself. Timing is on the page. Do not take 5 seconds to just look at something and go away. You gotta look at the page. You gotta take a look at everything. All the information is going to be there as well. Okay, so they said before, just kind of looking at everything right now here, but you can see the roadways here. And this is a perfect example, by the way, when I'm talking about sleet and freezing rain across the board here. So when this move out of state, should be gone by late tomorrow night and into the early part of your Friday morning here. Okay, Pat, great comment. You can click on the roads on RDOT. Everything you need to know is going to be on this website, by the way. Okay, so this is what we're talking about, folks. Okay, do not travel on the road. If you need to travel, let it be an emergency. Okay, please be very, very careful on the roadways here and watch your speed too, folks. Okay, some vehicles are meant to sustain winter weather and some aren't. Okay, so please be very careful on the roadways. Wherever you gotta go, it's gonna be there. Okay, even if you're 15-20 minutes late, it's gonna be there, folks. Okay, so road conditions are quickly becoming hazardous across the board. Across the area, this is up here in northwestern Arkansas. This is roll 412 up here. This is mainly sleet up here, but you can see the issue here. Now, here's the thing: sleet is a little bit easier to travel on than freezing rain. Okay, sleet's a little bit easier to travel on, so you can actually get out and travel on sleet a little better than you can with freezing rain at this point. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. We'll have to watch this closely up here in northwest Arkansas, but temperatures are extremely cold up here, so anything that falls is going to accumulate quick. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind across the board here. Temperatures today are going to struggle to get out of the 20s and 30s. Most areas may not get above freezing for today. It's going to be very, very, very cold across the board. If you have to travel today, guys, make it at least an emergency. Do not get out. I know a lot of people have to go to work this morning, have to get off, etc. Folks, if you do not feel like traveling, if you don't feel like going to work, don't do it. Okay? If you think that it's a risk to your health, then don't do it. Okay? So that's what we're talking about here, folks. That's all I got for you guys right now. Everything is on the page. All the information you need to know is going to be on the page. It's not going to be the last live stream either, but all the information you need to know is on the page here, guys. So there's road conditions here. Okay? Updates are going to be frequently posted on the page. Okay, so you're not going to miss anything at all or anything like that. Take a look at our website as well, arkansasweatherwatchers.weebly.com. All your information is going to be there as well here. Okay, so as a matter of fact, let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at our website real quick. So this is our website, by the way. Okay, so this is what we're talking about, what we mean by our website. All your information is going to be here. Okay, you go up here to the menu. Look what you have here. You got interactive radar. You've got all the weathercation that you need about freezing rain and sleet. There was a lot of people asking about what's the difference. You can find that here. Okay, weather photos and videos. If you get weather photos and videos today, there's a link for this here on our website. Okay, and then you can go here and take a look at our daily forecast and then also our weather blogs. You can see that we've been talking about this for the last couple of days as well. Okay, but the most two important things today. Okay, interactive radar. It's gonna be right here. Okay. Let's click on that for just a bit. I'm going over our website, by the way. So if you need that information, take a look at our website, by the way. Okay, and you'll be able. And also, as a matter of fact, you can take a look at this. Is the cool thing about our website. You can actually type in your zip code, type in where you live, and find out what's going on across the board. Okay, there's a winter storm warning here. Okay, and you can go through and go to here. Now, if you go to our website, you can go here, and this is what's called precipitation type. And basically what it's going to do, you're going to see here just a bit, it should load up, okay? You're going to see the difference between the rain, the sleet, and the freezing rain, and even the snow up here in northwestern Arkansas, okay? So you're going to see that kind of pop up on here. You can see that, look at there, okay? So that's the precipitation type. That's a cool feature on our website that I personally went in and did last night. That way you guys can go and take a look at that on your free leisure. Okay, so take a look at our website. The link in that is going to be on the post as soon as this live stream is over. All the information you're going to need is going to be on here. Okay. School closing as well. School closings are going to be on here. I haven't heard anything about school closings. We'll let you guys know if that's the case here. Going over everything here. So yeah, Dustin, that's a great point. Look at the sidewalks. Be careful getting out, period. I know a lot of people who slipped and fell in their yard last year. Check on your elderly. That's a great point, Dustin. Okay. Check on your elderly as well. But this is what we're talking about. Okay. Take a look at our website. All the information is going to be on there. Also, our weather page as well here. Okay. All the information here is going to be on the page. Let's go to our page real quick. Okay. And this is going to be on our Facebook page, by the way. Okay. So all the information you're going to need is going to be on the page. So you got to take more than 5 seconds. You guys are going to see in the news feeds, but you got to take more than 5 seconds to look at everything. Okay. So take a look at that. Okay. So you can see what's going on here. Okay. All your information. There's the current live. Okay. And then you got all your information on here as well. It's loading up pretty slow, but you can see what's going on. Okay, all your information is going to be here. There's your winter precipitation time. There's all the posts we've made for today, and then there's right here. Okay, there's your winter weather alerts, and then this is your timing map. As a matter of fact, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pin this to the top of the page. That way, you can take a look and see what's going on here. We will have school closing on our website as well. That way, you guys can stay informed on that. But we're going to go ahead and pin this to the top of the page. That way you guys can see what's going on here. Winter storm warnings, etc. All the information you need is going to be on the page, guys. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind across the board. Take 5 seconds, look at everything. I promise you it's going to be worth it. Okay, you guys have any more questions, please let me know. But we will have all the information for you guys on the page here. So Central Arkansas schools are letting out at noon. That's perfect. That is perfect. Get out as quickly as they can. That way you can get back home and relax here. This is going to be a typical freezing rain, sleet event for us here in Arkansas. Let me see. Batesville is closing at 1 o'clock. Thank you for that. The Valonia area is missing at 10:50. That's even better. At 10:50, getting out at 10 o'clock in the morning. That way you can go ahead and be out and be done with it across the board here. So Mountain View closed last night. Most schools closed last night. They saw this coming, and most schools went on ahead and closed throughout the overnight hours here. So I think that's all I got at this point. Okay, if you could occasionally let me know where some highways are. I don't know my highway numbers and location reference will help. Kathy, I will definitely take a look at that and try to help you guys with that. Most of our graphics do have the highways on them in the interstates. So that's going to be it, but I will definitely take a look into that, and we could probably try to add it to our graphics here. But Michael, that's a great point. Patience is key with winter weather. Okay, a lot of people. Patience is very, very thin whenever you're dealing with winter weather. You got to have strong patience whenever you're dealing with winter weather because it can go either way. Now, how will Central Arkansas transition to freezing rain? Yes. I think Central Arkansas is going to be the freezing rain sleet mix here, and I'm hoping more sleet versus freezing rain, because if we start getting freezing rain predominantly, that's where we can have some issues, excuse me, across the board. So we're going to go back to our radar real fast, okay, and then kind of give you guys a broad view of what's going on. Okay, so this is the 32-degree line right here. Okay, look at the lightning strikes. Let's go to the Namina area real quick. Look at the lightning strikes up here. The darker purples that you're seeing and the whites that you're seeing, this is what you're looking at this point. Okay, just now to the end, can you go back over radar for the next 24 hours? Casey, we will have that on the YouTube, or you can also back this live stream up and you can take a look at that here. But we'll have it on YouTube and on Facebook as well. It'll be our Futurecast on the page here. But just kind of looking at everything right now here. Freezing rain, sleet across the board. Do not travel, folks. If you have to travel, please be very careful here. Will you update around noon when the National Weather Service releases information? We'll probably do a live stream, as a matter of fact, probably about 1, 2 o'clock this afternoon. We'll take a little bit of a break. We are going to have radar updates across the board here, but you can definitely see on the picture what's going on. Freezing rain and sleet across the area. Don't plan on traveling. Everything else is on the table. Everything has gone over everything. If you missed a live stream, this will be posted on the page and on YouTube as well, so you're not really missing anything with this. Okay, so Highway 22, Logan County, is ice covered. Okay, that does not surprise me update in Logan County here. Sleet and Ward, that's what you want to see. You want sleet. This when we just hit Mount Home, it'll be coming in shortly. I think that's it. Okay, so that's all I got for you guys right now. So before, all the information is going to be on the page. Take more than 5 seconds to look at the page. All the information is going to be there. If you missed this live stream, you're the only one that's tuning into this live stream and they missed it, all the information is going to be on the page, and we're going to have videos, photos, everything's going to be updated throughout the day. And do not get mad at us if your question does not get answered. There's a million questions we're getting to right now. So don't be upset if your question doesn't get answered. We're going to try to get to you guys as quickly as we can. I appreciate each and every single one of y'all for coming into this live stream today. Okay, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I appreciate the questions as well. No questions, a dumb question or anything like that. But I do appreciate it here. Now, cool feature I want to show you guys before I head off of here. Remember that thunderstorm that we were looking down here in southwestern Arkansas that went over Nashville? Okay, this little storm that we were looking at, look what happened as soon as it got into freezing air. That's a really, really one cool feature thing about dealing with winter weather here, but that went straight to freezing rain down here. Okay, so this is what we're talking about here. Hit that freezing line right there, and it turns straight into freezing rain immediately. Okay, and that has hit it on the trajectory towards Hot Springs and into western Saline County, western Pulaski County on the trajectory here, guys. So the website and Facebook page has everything. I appreciate each and every one of y'all tuning into this live stream today. This will not be our last update. We will have more updates coming to you guys live on here, right here in your source for all things Arkansas weather.